Hi, my name is Kai Armstrong, and I'm the Senior Product Manager of the Code Review Group here at GitLab. Today, I want to take a moment and talk about the code review direction and what the next 1-year plan looks like for us and some of the things we'll be working on and focusing on over that year. So let me share my screen and we'll walk through some of this. To begin with, here's the code review workflow direction page. As a reminder, everything at GitLab is public, and so you can always see this direction page and what we're working on and how we're thinking about things here. I'll provide a link to this below the video, but we'll walk through a few things. To start, I want to make it clear on what GitLab's vision for code review is. And so GitLab thinks about code review as a way where changes can be discussed, developers can be mentored, knowledge is shared, defects identified, and contributions delivered. And so what we're really talking about is code review isn't just the act of reviewing code or leaving feedback. It's making sure that there's a whole process and culture around that and providing the right tools and features to make that happen. And GitLab code review always happens in the merge request. And so we want to make sure that these tasks that you have to complete are efficient and easy. And so that velocity of your code delivery, as well as the code quality and security increase, while allowing for future iterations to continue improving those things as you go along. And so that's really the foundation for how we think about code review. And so with that in mind, let's talk about some of the things that we'll be looking at over the next year. And so our 1-year plan for code review can really be thought about in 3 different buckets of work. And so those are feature enhancements. So these would be net new things to the merge request that we would bring to further the vision of the merge request. Performance and reliability improvements. And so these would be things that we would do to improve responsiveness or improve user experience or really impact just those foundational things of the merge request. And then the last one is sort of ongoing research and design efforts of things that we're exploring that we want to bring to the merge request that'll sort of dramatically shift the way that we interact and use the merge request today. And so these are different from what we might see as smaller features that we could implement in several iterations. These would be redesigns to all of the commenting experience or to handoff inside of a merge request. And so that's sort of what that last bucket results in. So if we go back to the first one and talk about feature enhancements, over the next year, there's sort of one big area we're working on and then another that we want to bridge into. And so the first one is real-time merge request updates. And so we know that when you're on a merge request, one of the most important things to make sure that you're looking at is the latest information. And that includes the latest information from pipelines, from other users, and from a whole host of things. And so right now we're reworking some of the backend fundamentals to make sure that you can get real-time updates for the status of the merge button, approvals as they come in, and really make it so that merge request page responds the way you expect it to respond and is always giving you the latest source of information there. So that's a big one for us. There's a lot of focus areas there. I'll link the epic that encompasses all the places we're looking at right now, but you should see those changes roll out over the next several milestones and work here. The next one we want to look at is a concept about expressive merge request comments. And so one of the key things about a merge request is it's important to make sure that the feedback that's being given is easy to understand for users. And there's a few ways that you can do this. A lot of people preface comments. GitLab, uses the concept of resolvable threads. That's in product today. And so like a thread needs to be resolved to do that. But we don't really weight comments or provide intent. And so that can make it unclear in a review. What do you need to address? What do you not need to address? And how do you learn from that experience? How do you make sure that, the next time that these are things that people might look for? And so we'll be looking at a way to further classify comments, allow you to create sort of different priorities of comments, some which may need to be resolved, some which might not need to be resolved. And so I'll link to that effort down below. We haven't started much into the research phase, but that's where we're looking over the next year to sort of take the commenting experience to that next level inside of the merge request. In the performance and reliability side, we're really focused on just core performance here. And so we've been running a series of performance roundtables where we've been exploring new ideas, new approaches. I'll link to the epic where you can see these, and some of these are already generating tangible results in terms of reduction of the time it takes to paint the page, so the largest contentful paint. So some of the key metrics that we measure around performance. So we're already seeing things here, and we'll continue to sort of always have a theme around performance in terms of what we're trying to do here. But a lot of these changes that we're looking at will hopefully enable, some of the things that we know users care about, which are larger merge requests with more changes being more responsive. And so that's a key focus of the outcomes we want to see as a part of really looking at core performance here. And the last one is two design efforts I want to touch on. And the first one we call restructuring merge requests. The genesis of this is really that the merge request page is really information dense, can be overwhelming to understand what you need to do and what you need to address. And so we're looking at options of how we can simplify that information on page and what we can do to make it so you know what you need to act on and what you need to respond on. One of the things that we're likely going to do out of this is sort of change commenting and centralize that experience for comments in a merge request. Right now, they can bounce between a couple of different areas, and we really want to simplify and centralize that so that you know who's commenting, what thread, what version, and all of those things contained in one place. And then the last one is a concept that's called review rounds, and this really goes back to things that we've done when we did reviewer, when we introduced reviewers and other things, where we really want to make sure that it is clear inside of a merge request what you need to be doing, whether you're the author or a reviewer or some other participant. We want to make it clear, why are you in this merge request? What do you still need to do? And how do you resolve that? And how do we notify you of all those things? So, you might leave a review and now the author needs to act. Well, how do we make sure the author knows that it's their time to act? And so those types of things. And so we really want to refine and build in that back and forth flow into the merge request. And so we've got some research ongoing there on options that we could take for that. So that's a little bit about the 1-year plan for code review. Like I said, I'll link the direction page below this video. I'll also link to these high-level epics that we're working on. If you have any feedback about these ideas or other ideas, feel free to open a merge request to the direction page, find any of these epics and comment on them. You can always reach me inside of GitLab. So thanks, and we're really excited about the next year in code review.